Every gardener wants that magic ingredient that, really supercharges plant growth. Mulching has long been one of the most effective tools for creating healthy, low-maintenance beds that support life both above and below the soil. But honestly, not all mulches are created equal. When it comes to boosting worm activity, locking in moisture and delivering nutrients, two contenders often rise to the top: alfalfa pellets and grass clippings. Which one wins for explosive plant growth? Well, that's what we set out to discover in a 30-day, side-by-side garden trial. To make this test fair and actually useful, we prepared two identical raised beds, each filled with the same soil blend and planted with young vegetable starts: peppers, lettuce, and marigolds. The only difference? One bed was mulched with rehydrated alfalfa pellets, while the other got sun-dried grass clippings gathered from an untreated lawn. Over the course of a month, we tracked soil moisture levels, plant growth, pest pressure, and worm activity. And wow, the results were eye-opening. Let's start with the alfalfa. When soaked and spread as mulch, alfalfa pellets break down rapidly. This fermentation-like process gives off a sweet, slightly grassy aroma that signals microbial activity is heating up fast. In the first week, we noticed something important. The soil underneath stayed dark and moist even on hot days. That's because alfalfa forms a soft, absorbent mat that protects the soil surface while slowly feeding it. Within just 10 days, there were visible worm castings on the surface of the mulch. These castings tell you that worms are feeding, thriving, and working the topsoil. Exactly what you want for long-term fertility. Grass clippings, on the other hand, offer their own strengths. Once dried for a day or two and spread in a thin layer, they provide an effective moisture barrier that's lightweight and free. Within the first week, the grass mulch locked in humidity better than we expected. The bed didn't dry out as quickly as the control area with no mulch, and plant roots stayed cooler during a surprise heat wave. But by week 2, something changed. The grass began to mat together in spots, forming a crust that repelled water and slightly slowed down the breakdown process. Worm activity beneath the grass was decent, but less visible than in the alfalfa bed. Still, we saw moderate casting activity by the end of the 3rd week, suggesting worms appreciated the nitrogen-rich snack but preferred a more broken-down version. From a plant growth perspective, the difference was even clearer. By day 15, the pepper plants in the alfalfa bed were bushier, with noticeably thicker stems and darker green foliage. The marigolds flowered earlier, and the lettuce had better leaf color and size. In the grass bed, growth was solid but not as vigorous. It was enough to impress, but not enough to overtake the alfalfa. So why did alfalfa pellets outperform grass clippings? The answer lies in their composition. Alfalfa is a nitrogen fixer, packed with amino acids, trace minerals, and growth-promoting compounds like triacontanol. When you apply it as mulch, it acts as a slow-release green fertilizer and microbial stimulant all in one. Earthworms are especially drawn to the fermenting layer beneath the surface where bacteria flourish. These bacteria feed fungi, which in turn become worm food. It creates a complete soil food web right in your raised bed. Grass clippings, while also nitrogen-rich, are more one-dimensional. They offer fast, green nutrition, but without the mineral diversity or fermentation kick that makes alfalfa so effective. When applied improperly, too thick or too wet, they can mat down and create anaerobic zones, slowing decomposition and reducing oxygen for worms and roots alike. That said, when used in thin layers or pre-mixed with straw, grass clippings can still be an excellent mulch choice for gardeners who want to reuse what they have. One of the most interesting observations came at the end of the 30-day test. When we pulled back the mulch in each bed, the soil beneath the alfalfa was darker, fluffier, and more moist than the grass-mulched bed. We found double the number of visible worms in the alfalfa bed and several tiny worm cocoons, a sign that not only were the worms eating, but they were reproducing. That's a long-term investment in soil health that will continue to pay off well beyond one growing season. This doesn't mean grass clippings are off the table. In fact, when combined with alfalfa pellets or balanced out with browns like straw or shredded leaves, they can deliver tremendous benefits. They're free, abundant, and valuable when used correctly. But if your goal is explosive growth, maximum worm activity, and rapid soil revival, alfalfa clearly holds the edge. If you're planning your next season and wondering how to mulch for maximum return, try starting with soaked alfalfa pellets as your base layer. Spread a thin layer, water it in, and let the biology do the rest. For those wanting to experiment further, you can add a top dressing of dried grass clippings to provide an extra layer of insulation and nitrogen. This hybrid mulch can offer the best of both worlds, fast feeding up top and deep microbial action below. Whether you're a new gardener or a seasoned soil builder, one thing's clear: how you mulch can change everything. Alfalfa pellets may cost a few dollars per bag, but the payoff in plant vigor, worm activity, and long-term fertility is worth it. Meanwhile, don't underestimate the power of your lawn waste. Just be sure to use it wisely and with structure. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe to the Hydrohaven channel for more no-fluff hands-on gardening insights. Share this video with a friend who mulches, and help us spread the word that living soil is built from the top down, one smart layer at a time.